Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Pipe Bomb Sessions. This week, we have officially came to an end to a very up and down, interesting 2025 WWE year. We officially had the final Raw of the 2025, of course, hyping up the highly anticipated 1 year anniversary of the Raw debut on Netflix a year ago in 2025, around January, the first January of it, obviously, right? Now, what's interesting is, of course, just like last year, highly hyped up, much anticipated, a lot of things going on, right? I mean, three of the marquee matchups that they've already announced and planned up is obviously for the women's IC title, Becky Lynch getting a rematch against Maxine Dupree. We got the women's tag titles with the Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, which could be looking at new champs here, guys. You never freaking know. And then the main event, World Champ CM Punk against Braun Breaker. Now, this matchup is very interesting. I actually do think that Breaker has a chance to actually take this title off of him. I think it's very, very interesting, but we will capture that and talk about that in just a little bit, right? So, and of course, we have the three stages of hell matchup happening on SmackDown. Not this upcoming SmackDown, but the following SmackDown in Berlin, I believe. Um, it's gonna be, of course, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. I mean, hey man, Drew has to take this, right, ladies and gentlemen? Like, this is it, right? There's no way around it that Drew McIntyre does not win this. And just for a fun fact for everybody else listening, a face has actually only won this matchup once. That being John Cena, I believe in about 2013 or 2012 he won. Um, could have been even previous. You guys could definitely fact check me on that tidbit. However, I know for sure that Cena is the only face to actually walk out of a three stages of hell matchup with a W. I think that makes things very interesting. Is this Drew McIntyre's time? Or are they gonna really just let Drew take another L to Cody? Ah, man, we'll find out in about 10 days. I would say in about a week and a half. However, until that happens, one major thing is that WWE said that SmackDown is going back to 3 hours. I don't know how this is going to turn out. However, I mean, it really can't be worse than what was going on SmackDown, anyways, for the past like 6 months now. It just felt like they were just throwing things up in there, didn't really care to advance storylines as much as I would like them have to. But anyways, at least things are kind of like working out now, I would say, and can't really complain. However, for this week's SmackDown, it's still some matchups going on, right? I mean, we got an eight woman tag matchup. Just really feels like all the women involved on the SmackDown roster in this matchup. But then we also have, like, Jade versus Mishin, just a regular non-title matchup, and then I assume this could be the main event between Damian Priest and Aleister Black in an ambulance match. Now, is this the matchup where I can see Zelina getting involved, and that brings out Lola Vice, and maybe that's how she debuts into SmackDown and is going to be part of the Blue Brand going forward? Unsure. Can definitely see it happening that way because, I mean, that would make sense, right? I could see it. It just then you set up obviously the mixed tag matchup, which I assume you're trying to do, and after the mixed tag matchup, you could really do whatever the hell you want. But we need to stop this Aleister Black and Damian Priest feud because, I mean, I get it. Clearly, you don't have anything else to do for either guy, but do not keep making them face each other. That does absolutely nothing for either character, and nobody really cares as much. Especially returning Aleister Black should not be in purgatory of the same feud for 8 months now since he returned, whatever the situation may be. Like, we need to get him out of there and get him more involved in different storylines. Simple as that. I mean, I don't know what's so complicated about that. Maybe going into the new year, this is where we have the debut and you guys come up, like freaking Trick is coming up. I know Oba's coming up. Obviously, Javon Evans. And I'm sure there's going to be a plethora and a whole different superstars and women as well who are called up to the main rosters going into the new year. That's going to start on Raw's first anniversary, Netflix, next week. That Raw, I'm telling you, there's a lot going to be going on. Do I see new champions happen? I can. I can see Rhea Ripley, Io Sky possibly taking the titles off the Kabuki Warriors just to kind of mix it up and really get them some gold on their shoulder and get them hyped as usual with the crowd. I do not see Becky actually taking the title back with Maxine. Only reason being, I just feel like something's going to happen, and if that something is AJ Lee, this is going to be interesting. AJ Lee's obviously not been involved in anything for except one actual storyline and one other match where she kind of just got thrown in. And of course, she was in there because Becky Lynch was involved on the other side. So again, maybe she shows up again, helps Maxine out, Maxine retains, or some sort of fashion like that. I don't see Maxine losing the title right now. They just put it on her. She's a new title holder. I just don't see it. And then, of course, we're going to have a bunch of other things going on. I'm sure we'll see the Usos come out with their new tag team titles that they just won on Monday Night Raw this past week. I'm sure they ended their 2025 celebrating. So that was amazing for the Usos. Congrats to them. But I expect them to come out. Maybe we see a little bit more of the Austin Theory situation, which, the way he's talking, I'm not really sure. Like, is this a setup? Is this not a setup? Who's behind it? What's going on? I don't know yet, right? We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna find out together, ladies and gentlemen. I have a feeling he may be Seth Rollins' spy, but again, I don't know yet. Maybe Rollins was always gonna have Theory show up and debut, and he still sent him out there just to play friendly, just to kind of infiltrate and be his inside man when the time is right. Rollins returns and takes back, well, of course, takes back his title, but I was going to say takes back his group, possibly. So let's just see how it goes. Of course, Theory is loyal to Rollins first because of the run that they had with the Messiah role when he did. You know what I mean? All those years back. So at the end of the day, I don't know. I know they're open arms inviting Theory in, but just got to be careful. That's all. The main event. Now it's time for the main event. Main event of next week's Raw is going to be simple enough. CM Punk, Braun Breaker for Punk's world title. Now, I actually think this is a 50-50 shot. Like either person could actually leave out of this with the title going into the Rumble as a new title holder. Braun Breaker wins it. Of course, I can see Punk possibly just getting a rematch at the Rumble itself for the title. However, if Punk does win, let's just say Punk wins, celebrating, holding the title up, boom. That's when lights go out. We see the damn lightning jacket or whatever the hell way he wants to debut again in WWE. We see the guy who showed up at the end of the millennia, Y2J, Chris Jericho. Yes, I fully expect Y2J to return to WWE. It's as usual, as I've been saying, it's a matter of when. Now with new news coming out and finding out that, hey, his contract is ending tomorrow. So if his contract's officially ending tomorrow, otherwise known as midnight tonight, right? He's free to sign wherever the hell he wants. Otherwise known as the first ever Netflix Raw anniversary can mark his return. I mean, who better? And I expect him to go on some kind of similar, retirement tour type of situation. Of course, Jericho's been playing with the rumors and kind of just going with it, saying like, hey, you never know what's gonna happen. May show up, may not show up, but he's definitely showing up either on the Raw or he's showing up at the Rumble. It's as simple as that. Book it. Chris Jericho will be back in WWE by the end of January. I'm telling you. It's written. I would not be surprised at all if he shows up next week. He's a show up, maybe confront Punk. It looks like his title type of deal, and that's how we get the Jericho and Punk matchup. Could be that. Could be the fact that maybe Braun Breakers, calling in the backup in the Vision. They're over here attacking. We get a couple people like come out for Punk's assistance. Punk goes down. Boom. That's when Jericho shows up. Could be in that fashion. I'm not really sure how I see Jericho showing up. I just do definitely see him showing up. That's the thing. So I think these things are going to be very, very interesting. I definitely look forward to seeing Y2J. I question that's been running in my mind is which theme song is he going to debut with? If you guys had a certain idea of it, please let me know because that would be very, very interesting. Um, Another thing is the the whole thing for this next episode of Raw is that they're calling it Stranger Things, Netflix branded Raw, themed Raw, whatever. That's odd to me because, like, why would you name it that unless something strange is going to happen? I mean, they don't usually do this stuff by accident. It's clearly written in there. You just gotta figure it out. That's all it is. So, the only strange thing to happen would be a returning Y2J that nobody really expected to return. I mean, I can see that being the stranger thing to happen, or it could be simple enough. The fact that Braun Breaker might actually win the damn title. Shoot, 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 shoot. A lot of things are possible. A lot of things could happen for sure. It's interesting to see which direction they are going with currently. I'm just not sure if that's going to be the direction they want to keep going with. However, I do think they're going to start 2026 with a bang on their Raw. I mean, they were huge on it last year, of course, because that was the debut. 1 year anniversary. I expect nothing, nothing less. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening as usual. Hope you guys had a great, great Christmas and holiday season. And as usual, don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy your New Year's. Happy New Year. See you guys in 2026.